Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And we go planetside once again, finding the glit, going back to all that glitters. It's another day, another replay. Once again, we're going back to this high OS lobby that I was enjoying. They were just spamming all that glitters, so we're just gonna have a look at some of these because I think it's really interesting to see these higher OS players. Right, last game we saw in this lobby what communism can truly accomplish. I mean, we saw a total of 3,500 metal shared for both teams, which is an incredibly high amount, and I think it's really worth trying in your own game, right? Trying from this, okay, it's the 6th spawn location. Trying from the 6th spawn location, feeding your tech a ton of metal by trying to reduce the units that you're making, right? Try to only have like 15 rocket bots. Maybe set a queue. We'll examine where that hotkey is in this once we get going here. Started. And we've got some labs up. Maybe set a queue of 15 rocket bots. I should give that a shot here now and again. Let's see. Once again, we're planetside. We've got... I don't see a lot of the same players as last game. So let's... Neo is back. Is he teching again? He is. That'll be interesting to see. I imagine he'll go for another Tzar rush, which he did so well last time. But let's see, this time... Okay, so this time because he's spawning here... Oh no, he's still just going for like all of his mexes immediately. Okay. It seems like a tighter path on the blue side actually for the tech player if you're taking all your mexes right away. Let's kind of have a look at that. That's an interesting thought. Yeah, like this seems... This was Neo's path last game, if I recall. But now this game, he gets to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that seems a lot. I mean, that seems a lot. Yeah. So maybe on this side, he would have wanted to go 1, 2, 3, 4. It still sucks. 5, 6. Like, none of that is nice. Okay. Well. Ooh, and look at this, we've just learned how to erase. Interesting to see. It looks like maybe this strategy that Neo likes to do is much more of a blue side thing, where this path just makes a lot more sense. I feel like on red this just doesn't, I don't see how this... Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Like, that's more reasonable, but it still looks just 1, 2, 3. Just still, well, no, that looks comparable actually. Yeah, that looks about the same. Yes, okay, that's how they're mirrored. Red has this spot further out, so yeah, I think maybe if you start out here and then go backwards, but you want to be forward. So I think if you want to try this Neo strategy on red, that's your path, and if you want to try it on blue, you start in the back as well. Okay, so cool, good to know, interesting to see. This Neo guy is doing some spicy stuff, and look at this. I mean, he's got quite a bit of metal. He's highest on his team, makes sense. Kadoran, I don't see, this is weird too. Okay, it's because he's sucking up with some kind of resbot actually, by the looks of things. So this metal on the floor does make a difference. He's currently highest on his team by, let's see, not that much. I don't know, a couple hundred. So it's, you know, a unit or two, that a constructor that he's ahead, so to speak, from his resbot. So that's a decent value. He's gotten 130 metal out of it. I don't hate it. I guess if I could pay 130 metal to get 260 metal for 1400 energy on top, I guess I would be doing that over and over again. So yeah, that seems pretty good. This one tick seems to have gotten immense value back here. Very nice. 3 kills. Disgusting. But we've got a counterattack. More ticks. See, this is even at this 3-minute mark, the ticks can still have this huge impact. You're forcing the enemy air to have it, because otherwise you're going to be killing mexes, and you still get 1, probably 2 here because of how flanking damage works. Yeah, 2 mexes, sweet. Even though the build power is still here to rebuild, it makes a difference. They're down for, you know, 20, 30 seconds, and that translates to 100, 200-ish metal, right? And that's about that. Again, it's a unit or two, and that makes a big difference. Or it's like 6 wind turbines, right? So, big difference. And what have we got going on in the Geo lanes? Oh, actually, interesting to see. The highest OS player on the red team is in the 5 spot up here in the Geo lane. He has claimed all of the mexes in front. I actually kind of wish we could have seen how he did that. It looks like it was with 2 constructors and his commander. Looks like he did a lot of walking forward with relatively little eco. See, I think I would have put all of this down and then put down a battery. But it looks like he's spending all of his energy anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Very good to see. I mean, maybe, of course, the battery then gives him some extra room right now where maybe he still has some energy in the bank, but it doesn't even matter. Looks like it's just not worth it for this spot, actually, maybe. Interesting thought, interesting thought. Certainly not built over here, and he's now catching up in wins to his opponent.
Commander,
so this eco must have come out pretty quick, but fast forward is also in a pretty comfortable position here in comparison. So maybe he's got a much tighter build in the end. Where let's see actually who's made more metal. Delphia here, fast forward here. Metal produced 3k to 3.35. So it looks like Delphia probably got their mexes a little bit earlier. So probably I like it. And look at this, they're going artillery. They're actually agreeing with me that artillery in this lane is a very high impact. I think this is one of the few locations where my opinion on artillery is not completely horrible. I think on Frontline, on Supreme, you can justify to me some artillery if they've got pork down, and I think here you can justify artillery to me. I think this is a situation actually where maybe I take it back because we're up against a lot of units, which artillery is not very good at. That's right. Usually you're up against a commander who's putting down multiple LLTs a lot of the time, and then this is going to feel really good because the LLTs are just dying. They can't be repaired fast enough if you've got 4 artillery pieces shooting at it. And yeah, then it's just big value. Feels right there. It goes right, like nice LLT nerd. But here, of course, is the problem where we're getting burned, we're getting lasered. The burner is a lot more damage than the laser, and it is hugely upgraded already. Insane. I feel like that was 80+% damage. Oh, the artillery! Holy shit! Okay, damn. When you don't even trade your commanders, that's just worst case scenario, right? Oh, the Janus though. Oh, that volley of Janus was. Oh, holy shit! It kills him right back. Fuck. Holy! They trade the commanders in the end. That's crazy. He gets given the commander from Synthetic behind him, who is freaking the fuck out. It looks like he's on 0-0. He's got no fucking eco. Oh no, but it's because Wind's at 2. Bombers are doing. The missing, okay, hitting a couple mexes here. Very cool, very cool. We've got some fighters and they're not being used. We're getting pinged heavily by the tech player. Tech player's like, please, for the love of God, save me. Our enemy, wow, red air just blew up like 15 wind. They're coming for more. They've got another 9 or so, 10, let's say. That 25 winds have gone down to like 5 bombers here. Are we gonna get converter power? No. We're coming in for build power on the tech, but we did get the converter power of the tech player. Oh, that feels so bad. That feels so bad for Neo, who now has 0 energy as he's trying to build this 28,000 energy unit. We're talking about he's going to have to sit here for 100 seconds. Like, yeah, at least 100 seconds, which I guess that's not that long for the energy. But still, it's a lot longer than you'd want it to be. Last game, the Tzar was almost at the front already at this point. Oh boy. I guess the converter's dying doesn't actually make that much of a difference. So a little bit too hyped there, but Jesus Christ, that was a lot of. How can you not be hyped when you get a bombing off like that, dude? That's fucking insane value. You love to see it. What a disastrous timing at 8 minutes here from Mr. Firmament, who literally has just scaled solar. He's like, fuck you, I like solars, and it's worked. He just hit the bombing run of our lives, right? That insane impact. Oh wait, no, the first Tzar is already out. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense, I suppose. As maybe then a little bit less impact than we'd imagined. If we could have gotten this build power, actually, that would have been probably the biggest impact we could have gotten with that bombing run. A little bit unfortunate on the targeting there, all things considered, but what can you do, man? My blood pressure was just as high as I imagined Firmament's was, so good bombing run altogether. This is a problem! We're trying to put down a jammer, which is smart, right? This is even a Armada jammer, so you get much larger range. Now the key is just going to be, does the blue team see me? Let's join in with Mr. Israad. I think if we go player camera, and not the player view. Look at this calm, collected micro, bringing his commander forward. Very dangerous, honestly, with that gauntlet there. I'm not quite sure what he thinks he's doing. I guess he's just trying to suicide it. Cloaks it, okay. He's just baiting. I guess he's just baiting for his Tzar. Kind of sweet, honestly. Very risky, though. I don't like it. Like, ballsy and cool. Looks cool on the replay as it's working right now, but that's a lot of energy he's wasting. That's like multiple thousands of energy he's wasted walking that back. So, I don't really know how to feel about that, honestly. But wow, his camera control really good, eh? Just kept it nice and steady for us. We love to see it. We're gonna keep this Fog of War on for the blue team because this Tzar micro feels so pivotal. As it's a game of where is the commander, right? We really wish that we could have gotten this pink commander, but it's gone now. We know that one red commander. Oh god, and there it is. There's the sneaky D-gun time. We called it previously. Oh, it's disgusting. This is not this. Yeah, you cannot be bringing your Tzar into the tight and confined space. I guess he didn't see that he didn't know there was a jammer there. Let's actually go check out where this jammer is. Oh, just, I mean, disastrously tight here. This is disgusting. Truly one of the most disastrous and sneaky combination of units right here. The jammer with a commander loaded up on D-gun juice. Disgusting, beautiful D-gun, and by far the best answer to these Tzar timings. Just getting a D-gun off, alright? Just get the D-gun off. We saw it last game too with red team D-gunning enemy Fatboy. In this game it happened once again to blue team. Get D-gun, bro. Easy. What can you say? We've actually managed to push out from the geo spot, which honestly you don't see a lot. I feel like yellow is being given a lot of ground to cover here, as pink is just non-existent, and this back spot guy is also just not really doing a whole lot, as he's got some incisors and a couple whistlers. It's just not really much of anything, if we're honest. At least when it comes to a Tzar, Mr. Man with 8,000 HP over here. Gonna take a couple more incisors and one rocket bats than that, I'm afraid. I am very sorry to have to tell you this, sir. Ooh, the Mauser's getting degunned. God. Cloaked commanders are so disgusting. Hiding the jammer behind the rocks. Common trait here on all that glitters. Very smart. Just don't let them know that it's there, and then how can they even suspect a D-gun is approaching them if they don't even know there's a jammer? And absolutely disgusting from the red team as they are D-gunning fucking everything in sight. What the hell? What's our boy doing back here, Mr. Neo? We've been enjoying watching him so far. He's been doing interesting stuff. So he's built up a couple more solars for himself. I think maybe one. Looks like one more construction turret. He hasn't even upgraded his mechs yet, which is kind of beautiful. And he's seemingly handing out tier 2 to everybody else first. So what a man of the proletariat here today. You love to see it. Another bombing run coming in from red team. It looks like this time we have enough. Geo might still die though. Well, no. So maybe no. We'll lose all of our build power and all of our conversion power though. Nice. Very good. Very nice. Looks like it was mostly Fast Forward's fault though in the end. Yeah, as we ended up with 3 planes. So without these anti-air turrets here, Fast Forward saving himself. from a horrifying fate, as snipers are starting to now come forward from Coloring, which, naked snipers like this, it's kind of the easiest unit in the world to kill. I mean, naked snipers like this are about as effective as a mace, I would say. You're going to get about the same level. Ooh, going in, by the way, high impact bombing run as we're thinking about having a SIF. High impact bombing run coming through. There's nothing to hit there, unfortunately, for blue team, as all of red team's energy is, or all of Firmament's energy is solar collectors, so get fucked. It's truly a lovely sight, these sorts of bombing runs and the craters they leave behind. It's almost cathartic, you know. You go to sleep, you close your eyes, and there are the craters you've managed to create on this most unreasonable of battlefields. Love to see it, by the way. Delphia doing classic glitter stuff. I love this. I love putting the tier 2 defense on the high grounds. It's disgusting. It's nasty. Look at this range. It's covering everything that these guys have been building up as close as possible to the front. It's mean. It's very, very mean. And I think if you got a rattlesnake up on this hill, you'd probably be in contact with your blue player over here. With that one, which would be even nastier. However, okay, once we start really, you know, getting a lot of snipers, and maybe one of our homies starts doing something like this, where he's spamming back, now the snipers are starting to be a threat. They haven't gone down, and once they start numbering up, then they can even start having more of a chance against spam, right? Once you get to 6 snipers, and if you're microing them back, you can still have, you'll have some time for your team's spam to arrive and protect you from some ticks, right? Because, I mean, this many snipers could still die easily to a bunch of ticks if only these were being microed. It's incredible that blue team, nobody seems to have realized, by the way, that these snipers even existed, and the jammer radar bots just arrived, so kind of incredible, honestly, that these haven't gotten spammed out. Fast Forward is being very greedy, honestly, and this heavy rocket bot is disgusting. I guess he just has no information. Let's check out the player view. He has no information, haven't scouted in forever, and this is, you know, something you wish that your air player would be doing for you, but your air player has been shitting the bed all game, so he's not doing it. And so you just start building these heavy rocket bots, and you're like, oh god. Yeah, uh-oh. Blue team has realized. They're like, uh-oh, wait a minute. Let's see, are these ground targets any good? Oh, almost. Oh, almost. Oh. Friendly fire is not friendly, folks. That poor sniper took it in the bag. Is there anything interesting going on? Shall we speed it up a little bit? We're kind of at this point in the game where we've stalemated, right? Like, everybody's now a little bit afraid. There's like snipers on the field. Nobody's making enough spam to go handle it, and the welders are now there to protect. Fast Forward is really making the wrong choices. Sheldons are not it, I feel. Is really, like, all you can do against snipers is make some spam. Maybe some Sheldon, maybe a Sheldon ball with your spam is okay, but I guess he's at 65 mil a second. Something should be coming up, right? So he should be able to build something. Anyway, let's speed it up a little bit. Let's not hang around here too long, and wait and see if we can spot some big action happening. Because yeah, like I said, we're just kind of building up now. Any cool turrets coming up? Yep, we've got a pulsar coming up here. Very big, of course. We haven't figured out where to shoot our Juno yet. With Junos, of course, we're talking about Junos because this is maybe not something that you've seen before. Look at this cool thing. It's a Juno. It's a anti-radar jammer minefield scout spam weapon, which you can make with your constructor under utility with the Q key. So CQ, and you'll be able to plop down a Juno. It's going to cost you some energy and stuff per second. 160 energy per second, 2.7 metal per second to make its weapons, its rockets. And you can shoot them, as you see, and you get that green glowy field. We'll see it again eventually, I'm sure. He has figured out the correct spot, by the way. We can see this targeting line here. He has figured out where the ticks are coming from. So the green cloud will jam jammers, It basically EMPs them. It will jam radars, same way. I think it destroys mines, and it kills any tick that walks into it, friend or foe. So if you figure out where the ticks are coming from, deploying Juno missiles on them is incredibly valuable for you. Just a thought. Just a thought. Otherwise, looking like we're continuing our stalemate. Tier 3 is starting to come out from our front players. Mizuki was rewarded, and it looks like, let's just actually, yeah, that's a good thought actually. Let's check in with the ecos of the team. Blue team has actually made 40-ish thousand more metal, and only about 200,000 more energy than red team, which seems not like a much less significant difference in the grand scheme of things. So I would imagine blue team's kind of ahead, right? We've got our tier 3 up first. There is a pulsar up for red team. There's a trimmer. There's another trimmer there. I feel kind of bad for Dizza, but he's just macroing like a little greedy shit. You love to see it. We've got Acidic in the back line here macroing like a little guy. We've got everybody macroing. Everybody's enjoying a bit of macro. Get me some eco. But, as we were talking about, not Mizuki. He's at 112 metal a second, which is actually these are very serious numbers. More than enough to start making tier 3. I think actually, for Marauders, you really only need like 75 metal a second. These, you know, when you think about it, let's have a look here. These Marauders are less expensive than Mammoths. They're like literally they're less than half the metal of a Mammoth when you think about it. It's really the initial upfront investment cost that is so spooky. Looks like once again, blue air is just nowhere. Like, what the hell is this? How are completely unassisted bombers making it all the way through right now? I wish I could have seen. Maybe there was an epic air battle before this. Probably must have been. Tech player forced once again into making air. Classic poor tech players. At least it was only the wind, right? He's already almost got this APHIS up. He's got plenty of metal still in the bank, Mr. Jizza. His BP was not blown up. He's gonna be okay. But, yeah. What can you do? What can you do? We're having, I think we were having a spectator argument about advanced solars on glitters. That's another replay. We'll have that argument amongst ourselves. Kadorin is pushing in a little bit. His sniper numbers did get depleted, and he's feeding some stuff to a pop-up artillery. Nothing too surprising, nothing too crazy. We've handled all the threats so far, but the tier 3 is starting to build up for the... Well, okay, maybe not. Maybe the pulsars are having big impact actually over time. But we're starting. Yeah, we've got the artillery, and I like this. I like this on this map. This feels like... I think this is kind of the thing about Armada tier 3, right? In a standard game where you don't have the super tier 3 enabled, I feel like Armada tier 3, you really will love this 25-minute timing where... Oh god, by the way. We missed all of this getting in. That's... Oh god. Blue's just getting run through right now at the 25-minute mark. That is rough. Just nuking it. Okay, brother. Well, show him what's what. Holy. Okay, terrifying. But blue still... Yeah, look at this artillery, by the way. It's taking on these pulsars. This is the answer to pulsars, especially on glitters, it would seem. Get some vanguards up. 3 vanguards. Owning! Absolutely owning all the entrenched static defense that the enemy team has put up. All this tier 2 nonsense. Could definitely also be owning these starlights. I mean, look at this. Dominating that starlight already. If you can get a little vision of those, your vanguards can definitely take them out too. And taking out 2 means that they all die, right? They do a very large amount, yeah, of 1,200, I think, explosion damage when a starlight dies. Look at that. 1 shot from the Vanguard, 2 shot from the Vanguard, 3 shot from the Vanguard. It's not directed. It's very much just splash damage, as you can see. But boom. And there we go. 2 of them explode at the same time. A 3rd one's about to go. Yeah, look at that. Just devastation from these Vanguards. That's actually insane. And it's really right around that 100 Medal of Second Mark, it looks like, where you can kind of do this, and then he transitioned out of it, which is very cool as well. See, he's eaten his tier 3 lab again, and now we're just doing spam for ourselves for all of our super high impact tier 3 units. And honestly, this is genius. This is genius. This is, what a move. What a way to play front. You make just a few incredibly impactful tier 3 units, right, with fairly limited build power. That's the key, right? You're not like pushing it so hard with the build power that you're stalling constantly. And it looks like he had about, what is this? We can't see, that was 22 of them, so he had about 22 times 200, was that 44,000 build power, I think? No way. A 4,400 build power. A 0 is wrong there. But not a lot overall. Dark Red going fun air things as a transition. Dragon really not having as much impact as he'd hoped. Ironically, anti-air dominating his own fighters. Very funny. We've still got this nuclear bomber flying around, incredibly high impact unit. Red has been scaling wind, which I don't think is better on the glitters. I mean, you know, on Isthmus you get up to that 19 per second number, and my good friend Commander Box Eater was telling me, we're trying to abduct stuff, are we? But enemy team has fighters, and our air is not paying any attention right now. This sucks. Poor Firmament, he's really not keeping up here. That should have been a very slick play, I think, and it killed one. I mean, it'll probably kill more of them, actually. Very nice. The Armada Heavy Trans to stun these tier 3 Vanguard units was a very slick play from the red tech player, and he's making more. What you can also do, of course, if he still had a commander, which he doesn't, but maybe he has a corpse somewhere, right? Something to think about. What he could also do is stun them and then float them and then capture them with W. We can have a look here at the capture command. I feel like I told us we were going to look at the Q command and then totally forgot, but now we're remembering the capture command is here, and it's W. And if an enemy unit is by your commander and it stays, I don't know if it has to stay within range. I think the bar just kind of builds up and then lowers, kind of like an EMP bar. If you get 100% capture on something, works like EMP, but just over time, you become the owner of the unit. So the red tech player could have stunned, if he had his commander, he could have stunned it, one of those vanguards with his heavy transes, and then brought them back and captured it and added it to his side, his plight. Unfortunate, that's not what he got to do, because his air player, of course, wasn't paying any attention, did protect cool stuff, but I don't think he talked to his command either, so, you know, what can you say? Let's continue on. All the tier 3 ended up dead, but we took a huge swath of Red's eco, right? And now we have crept ahead in metal per second, relevant to think about right now. I mean, we've total metal produced, we're 60% ahead, which is 100k at this point, which is quite meaningful. So blue is, I would say, is in the driver's seat here. It's gonna be pretty hard for red to hold and come back in this game. I would say, even though, I mean, it's sad, right? Like, Firmament had all of these really high impact moments, or well, it was like the one big bomber, the one big Bowman run. So he just had one big boom, and it's just not enough. He's just not rewarded. In the end, what Mizuki is doing here just was devastating. Unfortunate death of the tier 2 bombers there. Their dying cry as they drop their one load of bombs for their entire life. We've got more bombers coming in from Firmament this time, trying to take out the vanguards. Let's see how that goes here. Oh no, we're going for more. But there was anti-air there, and it turns out these beamer turrets maybe are honestly owning too. Maybe beamers can really own in the air. Unfortunate. Where the tier 3 is kind of building up. Yeah, look at that. We're really seeing the Razorbacks chewing through grunts as they should. The demons are, of course, ever terrifying. It's your Razorback sort of equivalent, although much more expensive still. From Cortex. I think, honestly, the demons are a bit better than Razorbacks, as they should be, because they're 200 metal more expensive. Oh, the stun plan! The stun plan! It's not fast enough! It's not happening fast enough! It's not happening fast enough! Oh, no! That was like 11 transports. Oh god, and he's just spamming Fatboys. That's enough. The Fatboy spam is enough. Back! So, the demons were looking terrifying. Absolutely took out that poor... we don't even remember his name. He's that wiped off the earth. Look at the carnage left in his place. Sad. Light green here, Mr. Raiko has started pawn spam like you would not believe it. This is quite the amount. But I think, honestly, this amount of welders could cut through him like a butter if they were microed back a little bit. So, good thing to not go in there, but throwing them at the Fat Boys I don't think is any better. Delphia favoring these vanguards. Let's see how many he's got in the geo position here. He's got 9 versus his opponent who's only got 6 or so with his good friend Riyadh. I know there's so much happening on our screen. This is that point in Beyond All Reason, that 35-minute mark. Everything's going crazy. Holy shit. Strategy just starts going out the window, and it's pure instinct. We've got Marauders fighting Fat Boys, and they do surprisingly well, even though they're so much less expensive. Marauders in a well-microed ball, you can get away with a lot more than I was expecting. Just don't actually run them close to the Fat Boys. It's surprising. The speed of the Marauder is what sets it apart in this case, where because you're so fast on your Marauder, you get to dodge those Fat Boy shots. That's the vital thing about it, right? And then you just want to do regular mace micro. You really want to think of these as just better maces, where you're just running them around, trying to keep the circle at the maximum distance. Oh my god, those nuke bombers are disgusting on those Fat Boys. I don't know. I don't think Red Team can hold this in the long term if this is the kind of trades Blue is getting right now on this Fat Boy spam. I mean, it's a lot of Fat Boy, but it's not good enough, and especially if it's just going to trickle towards a Titan. I don't think Titans are very good generally, unless you've got like 5+, or it's against like super heavy units, right? Because then the Lazarus laser just comes into effect, as we just saw, and just shreds, just gets to shred. The dream, of course, and why I don't think Titans are very good. That's half a Fat Boy, bro. That's 4,000 damage that laser just did. Like okay. But the reason I don't like him so much versus, say, a Juggernaut, right, with its beautiful explosive shotgun, it really isn't as good against spam. Here, well, let's get a look here. Alright, we've got Memoths. But, like, I don't, like, it's not good. This little plasma artillery thing it does from its arm weapons, I don't think it's good. I don't know. Like, it's a Titan, sure, it does damage. It's got a lot of HP, it's thick, it's low. 70,000. But, yeah, you could just have a jug. You could just have a jug at a certain point, right? Like, that's what you want. Ideally, I would say. And that's kind of a thought as well. Let's think about that. Why tech, in the long term, you want to reach out to your Cortex air player and ask, hey, could I get a tier 2 air mech? Or a tier 2 air constructor? So that you can go into the Cortex tier 3. Because otherwise, I feel like once you get past this 40-minute mark especially, it just doesn't have much effect anymore, right? Like, look at how effective 2 Daemons plus a Juggernaut is. This is just never 2 Razorbacks in a Titan, right? I think, but to be fair, to be equivalent in metal, it would be 4 Razorbacks and 2 Titans. So maybe I need to do a StarCraft style unit comparison and see how those 2 stacks of units can compare to each other before I throw those accusations out there. But I like the look of a Jug and 2 Daemons more than I say Cortex is just damn. It's just appreciated here. I mean, just oh, what a magnificent beast. I wish I looked like this in real life. Look at those abs. Sexy, and he knows it. Fuck. Jesus Christ, man. Thank God we don't have weapons like this in real life just yet, bro. Once you get mechs like that, it's over. Life is just gonna be hell and war as 40k mechs stomp across the fucking fields. Beautiful. Just carnage here. Dark red, you'd think, right? It looks big, but this is just 9 fusions. Not that much. He gets taken. He gives everything away to synthetic. He says, "I'm fucking over it. Get me out of this game. I don't want to be in here anymore." And kind of the only answer, and we're going for it. Kind of the only answer at this point is a D-gun. That's all you've got. I mean, it's just, it's not enough. Yep. Literally like a run over by a demon, I think. Taking the explosion from the jug and then getting run over. Oof. That's that, I think, folks. Let's just have a little appreciate as this game winds to an end here. What do we think really were the game changers? I think Red had the biggest opportunities after Firmament's bombing. It was a success. There should have been some kind of push coming out of Delphia, probably. And I'm surprised that he didn't get more eco in the long term. I hope he's still on the scoreboard now. No, he was doing okay on the eco, I guess. But he was still below quite a bit of their team. Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't get the eco that I feel like I would have expected at 41 minutes. From Marauders are just upgraded maces, and they're honestly fairly cheap. They're cheaper than a surprising amount of tier 2 units, right? Is this? Nope, that's a gantry. Do we still any tier 2 enjoyers? Any tier 2 enjoyers still? There we go. Right, it's cheaper than a Fatboy, it's cheaper than 2 sharpshooters. Well, it's kind of comparable to a Fatboy, I guess, right? Like, no, 500 metal isn't comparable to 10,000 energy, no way. It's cheaper than a Fatboy, it's cheaper than 2 sharpshooters, it's cheaper than 5 hounds, which I think then you're starting to maybe look at actually fairly similar DPS numbers. Kind of an interesting thought here. The stated DPS on a hound. It won't tell me from the factory. Great. That sucks. I don't know, there's probably not going to be any hounds out and about for me to look at neither, but a Marauder does 335 DPS, so interesting to think about what the hound versus. Well, you know what? Let's tab out and go have a little quick peek here onto the Googles, because the Beyond All Reason website is actually fantastic. If you've ever looked up a Beyond All Reason unit before, you'll find a beautiful page, which I'm now currently on and not going to show to you because I don't care to put that much effort in. 81 DPS. Let's just do a little 81 times 5. I'm tired and don't want to do it in my head anymore. 405. So yeah, fairly comparable to a Marauder 5 hounds. But of course, then it costs you more energy, the hounds, as do the snipers. So I think Marauder's surprisingly good 20-minute unit when you're at like 70, 60 metal per second. Kind of worth thinking about maybe transitioning to tier 3 in the future, right? The big cost is the gantry, but of course you're going to be eating your tier 2 in most of your games where you're going to be transitioning like that. So yeah, give it a shot. Give it a shot. I think a lot of maybe like even from the 7 position on Isthmus, maybe something like that is possible, like a 20-minute tier 3 gantry with 75-ish metal per second. Be interesting to try. Maybe I can get Commander Box Eater on that one. And yeah, that was interesting to see. The other thing, of course, break apart the enemy tier 2 pork with vanguards. Wow, that was so nice. It was literally like 25 minutes. The peak effectiveness in theory of tier 2 static defense, but we had 3 vanguards and boom 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 all over here. Everything just died in front of our faces that they had just put their thousands of metal into, right? A pulsar is basically equivalent to a vanguard in terms of metal cost. I don't believe it is very comparable in terms of energy cost, but of course once you start shooting a pulsar, then it starts getting very quickly similar in energy cost. I'm trying to peek around really quick and find one, but I'm not seeing one. So Cool game, cool game. Kind of this 41-minute game where you see this tier 3 transition really pay off big time. Upgraded maces, as it turns out, pretty good. The mace, pretty good unit. When you upgrade it, give it more range, more damage, quicker reload speed, anti-air capabilities, make it faster. I mean, you're making a pretty good unit, I'd say. So maybe trying to transition a little bit earlier on lower metal than you think into Marauders could be something interesting that we can try in our own games. So, hope you've learned a little bit this time from going planetside with me, and I hope you'll be going planetside with me again next time. Love you all and see you next time. Bye!